Welcome everyone to the second lesson in Chapter 4, Lesson 4.1.2. You're going to want to have your ebook open. I'm going to go through the first problem and kind of lay out the expectations of what you should be looking at. It would also be really good if you had two colored pencils or two markers or two crayons even, but two colors would be really good for today. So here's what we're doing. We're asking ourselves the question, how does it grow? We're still looking at tile patterns, and what we're looking for is where is it growing? And we're trying to make a connection between what we're seeing in the tile pattern and seeing it in the table, and we're trying to make those connections. We're seeing growth in different representations. When it says the word representation, it's talking about tile pattern, rule, graph, table. Those are the four representations. Tiles, table, graph, rule. Four representations. So when I look at this problem, I'm going to take my first color. I'm choosing blue to be my first color. I notice that figure 0, I'm pretty sure you guys only have 1, 2, and 3. But what I notice is that each time, I guess I should start with my first color, red. I notice that each time when I look from 1 to 2, I notice that an additional diagonal was added. And I notice that an additional column was added. Okay? So I noticed that 4 tiles were added from 1 to 2. I noticed going from 2 to 3 that same thing happened again. Instead of 2 diagonals, there's 3 on the diagonal. That's going down and going up. I also noticed that it has another column of 2. So I noticed that it's growing. Right now you're just watching, by the way. It's growing by 4. I noticed that when I just see this. Okay, and I'm going to work that backwards because see, if I notice that happening in 2 and 3, then if I work my way backward, I know that these 4 tiles must also be considered growth. And if those 4 tiles are considered growth, that leads me that these 2 tiles were here in the beginning. And that helps me figure out figure 0. These were the 2 beginning, these were the 2 beginning. Okay? What I want to recognize is this information in a table. You have room in your margin to the right-hand side of these. I want you to build this table starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we'll extend that to 5. And I notice that I'm using colors here. I notice that my beginning number was 2. And this table was growing by 4. Okay? Notice that I'm color coding the growth by 4. Color coding the growth by 4. And when I add this growth in, notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles. 2 plus 4 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tiles. 6 plus 4 is 10. And I do 10 plus 4 is 14, and lo and behold, there's 14 tiles right there. Now, if we wanted to draw this, and I'm pretty sure you need to draw this, okay, but I know that there's going to be 18 tiles and there's going to be 22 tiles based on the knowledge of the growth. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to look at the next tile patterns. Just like I color-coded them, I want you to color-code them going from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and go ahead and create tile pattern number 4 on your paper. And once you've gone from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, Work your way back. Which of those tiles was the original tile? You are going to do this 3 times. Okay? You have 3 tile patterns to do. And when you are done with those tile patterns, you should create your table like this. And it should be color-coded like this. Okay? Because I want you to focus on the growth. Now, one of the last steps, I want you to notice that it wants you to write the rule. And when we are doing the rule is always y equals blank x plus blank. Later on we'll get into minuses, but for right now we're just going to assume it's going to be positive. Okay, let me scoot this over a little bit. Y equals blank x plus blank. Okay? And when we look at this, we start with our beginning number because all tables begin with 0. And multiplication has no power over 0. So I think, what is my add number? 0 plus 2, that's my add number. Okay? And now I think, okay, what is my multiply number? Well, this growth, this add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4, repeated addition is multiplication. And so I notice that this is growing by 4 each time. That growth of 4 is always the number in front of x. It's called x's coefficient. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the information from the tiles, put it in a table, and then we're going to put it in a rule. Okay? You have 3 tile patterns to work on, and here's an example of everything you should have on your paper for tiles, table, and rule. Okay? There's our work for today for lesson 412. When we begin lesson 413, we'll begin to use this information for the 4th representation. Thanks for coming today. I hope this is helpful in accomplishing today's work. We'll see you around.